What is up, you guys? In today's video, I want to give you the ultimate guide to table and custom furniture finishing. Let's dive in. All right, as always, I am so glad that you're here. If you don't know me, my name is Zach. I'm your host. I have spent a lot of time in the woodworking business, in the custom furniture business. We launched our business back in 2017, really struggled for a long time, but started growing, started learning, and ultimately grew that to about $75,000 per month in 2023 and sold at the very beginning of 2024. And I have some experience with finishing. I have some experience with different types of finishes. And so I'm gonna walk you through 5 different types of finishes today, and some of the benefits and some of the drawbacks of each, and what I ultimately kind of built my business around and why. Okay, so number one, the first type of finish that I started with was polyurethane. Everybody knows what polyurethane is. I started with Minwax polyurethane, I believe, was spraying it out of a gun. The great benefit of polyurethane is that it's super durable. Once it dries, it is incredibly durable. The drawback of polyurethane is that it takes forever to dry. And so you usually got to put a couple coats on stuff. It takes around 6 to 8 hours to dry it, depending upon humidity and temperature and all those different elements. But when it comes to finishing, this was quickly not a favorite of mine. There's nothing worse than trying to speed through production, trying to get through your orders, and having to wait an entire day for something to dry, right? That's number one. Number two, second type of finish are hard waxes, right? We would use a wax on more of our rustic style furniture where we didn't want any type of sheen on it. We wanted a really low sheen, a very low sheen option. However, in my opinion, waxes aren't great in general. Compared to some of the other options out there, they're not as durable, so they're not going to provide the same level of protection to furniture, and you'll have to reapply it over and over and over throughout the life of that product, right? And so a wax does okay. It's not my favorite. And that leads me to number 3, which is another version, I guess, of a wax, but that's like Rubio monocoat. And so we got to the point where we would use quite a bit of Rubio, especially if you're trying to get a really unique color option. Rubio comes in so many different colors, so many different options. One of the things that we would do on a frequent basis, by the way, is in my local area, we can get red oak for substantially less than white oak. White oak was around $6 to $8 a board foot, when red oak was around $2.50 to $3.50 a board foot, so usually less than half. And so we would have somebody that would want a white oak look, but they wouldn't want the white oak price. And so what we would do is we'd take a red oak and we would use different colors from Rubio to really accomplish that white oak look and make it beautiful, right? Rubio is a pretty great product. It has very low VOCs and it doesn't really smell that bad. It's not going to give you a headache working with it, and it's relatively durable. I would not say it's super durable. I would say it's relatively durable, and it does look beautiful. When Rubio's been applied correctly on a product, it looks good. It has also a low sheen. Now you can put other products from Rubio over it to seal it, give it more protection. But in my personal experience, it's not incredibly durable, right? It's a great product. It's expensive. That's another thing I would say about Rubio. It's pretty expensive. It has a somewhat quick drying time. It also ultimately wasn't my favorite, okay? And so I'm gonna give you 2 more, and both of these work, and I use both of them probably about the same amount inside of my business. But number 4 is catalyzed lacquer. Okay, so catalyzed lacquer. What is catalyzed lacquer? So catalyzed lacquer, when we would order it, would come in a 5-gallon bucket, and it would also come with a catalyst. And so we'd get this little bottle, this little tube of product called catalyst, and you would add it to the lacquer whenever you're ready to use the lacquer and blend it and mix it in. The beautiful thing about lacquer, what I loved so much, was that it had a crazy fast drying time and it was super durable. Those were the benefits of lacquer. So we would spray lacquer through a Graco gun. We would have a gun designated for it. We would spray lacquer, and 30 minutes to an hour later, we would have a completely dry product that we could pad down and put another coat on. Also, you put 2 to 3 coats of lacquer on a product, it's incredibly durable. It's going to last for a long time. Now, you are going to get little micro scratches in the finish, but it's very minimal, and it's going to protect the wood for a very, very, very long time. The downfall of lacquer, specifically still talking about catalyzed lacquer, is that it has a crazy strong odor. Right? Lacquer will give you a headache. If you're in an enclosed area and you don't have good ventilation, it will knock you out. Okay, so you got to make sure that you have good ventilation, that you are getting fumes out of the spraying area, and you're taken care of. Okay, that's catalyzed lacquer. And then the last one is pre-catalyzed lacquer, which comes from the manufacturer already ready to spray. You don't have to add a catalyst to it. You just have to mix it up and you're ready to rock and roll. So this was kind of the progression that I moved on as I started and grew my woodworking business. What I eventually found was that dry times were my biggest bottleneck inside of production. So I needed to find something that had very fast dry times. And I also didn't want to sacrifice the quality of the product. So moving to lacquer was the best move for us because it allowed us to move quickly, it allowed us to get a really great finish, and we could take a product that was ready for finishing and be done with finishing 4 hours later, right? Or 3 hours later. You could put a coat on, let it dry in an hour, pat it down, and you could put another coat on immediately and it would do great. Okay, so these are 5 different finishes. I'd love to hear from you. What are some of your favorite finishes? What has worked good for you? What have you found that you've landed on and stuck with? Would love to hear your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that as well. And a couple resources for you guys. If you are brand new, trying to get started, I got 2 resources for you. Number 1 is the Handmade Business Secrets ebook. It's completely free to you. Click on the first link in the description below. Enter your name, email. We're going to send that to you. It doesn't cost you anything. It's about a 100-page book where I outline my journey of getting started and scaling my business and how you can do the same. The second resource is the Handmade Hero Academy program. So if you're trying to get started, you're brand new, you're trying to get your feet wet, figure some stuff out, check that out. The Handmade Hero Academy program. It's really going to help you pick a winning product, test it in the market, make sure you have some traction, and then scale with that product. Okay. If you're just getting started or doing maybe just like $1,000 a month and you're trying to get to $5,000 or $10,000 a month, that's a great program. It's a low cost investment to help you get there. Okay. Lastly, if you're trying to really grow to the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per month mark or beyond, check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. It's our flagship program where I work hand in hand with you. You get a designated coach. We're going to run ads for you or teach you how to run ads. This is the play that you need to make if you're really trying to grow. We're working with over 60 clients all across the US and Canada, and we would love to work with you as well. So with that, love and appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video.